Hi, Master and None here, and today I'm here to talk about a new addition to the Master and None family. What? No, I'm not talking about a baby. I'm talking about a knife. This one in particular. This is, glad I didn't just cut my leg. This is the Honey Badger. Let's take a closer look. This is the Honey Badger. There it is on the side right there. And a little bit of story goes along with this knife. I'd had my eye on it for quite some time, and then one weekend I lost the Kershaw that you may have seen in previous other videos of mine, and decided that the time had come to take the plunge on the Honey Badger here. And the day that this thing showed up in the mail, the Kershaw also magically reappeared. It either didn't want to exit my life, or Providence was just giving me a way to buy this knife that I had my eye on for a long time. And this has turned out to be a really nice knife. I've had this for quite some time now. Well, quite some time, maybe 5-6 weeks. And I really wanted to get some use out of it before I filmed a review, before I made a really firm opinion of it. Now, by comparison, you can see that it's a larger blade than the Kershaw that I've been carrying primarily every day for 5 years or so. And that continues in profile on the edge. This is just a much meatier, beefier blade, and that lends itself to do a lot more tasks. Actually, I've started carrying this thing, well, not every day, because I still like to show the Kershaw a little love. It's been my knife for a lot of years, and I'll do a review specifically on this at a later date. But this is what I've been carrying, and it's really a heck of a blade. Now, can't see it here. It's actually made out of the same steel as the Kershaw, that 8CR13MOV. It's a stainless steel, and just like with that Kershaw, it takes a really good edge, and this thing is sharp right now. Of course, the first thing you do whenever you buy a knife is sharpen it, because regardless of what the little pamphlet that comes with the knife says, they're never really all that sharp coming out of the package. At least not by my standards. So I sharpened it, and this steel takes a good edge, but furthermore, it retains that edge, and then it's easy to touch these things up. You just hit them. I mentioned in my knife sharpening video, in one of my knife sharpening videos, that I tend to touch my knives up on the bottom of a cup of coffee in the morning, obviously when there's no more coffee in it. And just doing that on occasion, a few times a week, just keeps this thing very, very sharp. You don't have any lack of sharpness in this thing if you maintain it at all. And the fact that it's beefier means that, well, it can be abused a little bit more than, say, the Kershaw. I was always afraid on the Kershaw, when you're mishandling a knife, like the true knife people will cringe when I say this, but when you flip around and pry on something with the back of the blade, or in a pinch use it as an emergency screwdriver or something like that, this thing, you're just a lot more comfortable doing that. At first, I was a little concerned of these kind of synthetic polymer grips, because it's just so light. All the weight of that thing is up here in that blade, and back here it just feels so light once you deploy it, that I didn't know how well it was gonna hold up, but it really has. I've put this thing through its paces, we'll say, and I've chopped at stuff. I needed to make a shim a while back, and I had this about 1/2 inch chunk of wood, and I put that on that chunk of wood diagonally like this, and laid my hand across it and just pushed down and just cleaved through that thing clean, and made myself a nice little shim. And this knife has so far stood up to everything I've thrown at it, and I know I haven't had it too long, but nothing's loosened up in it so far. The lock is, there's no wiggle there whatsoever. It doesn't have the speed safe opening of the Kershaw, so there's nothing to assist it, but it doesn't take much of a flick. You can see it's just with my finger. I didn't have to do anything with my wrist, and that slides right open. Once this blade gets going, there's just so much inertia there. Plus, the bearings are just ridiculously smooth on this thing. Of course, it's also got the eye on the side to open it if you're coming from like a Spyderco or something like that. And this is just one heck of a knife. It's relatively inexpensive. I'm kind of cheap, so in my book it's an expensive knife. After taxes and everything, I got this for around $40. I think it came to just exactly $40 really, plus change. And you might be able to find one cheaper, but you know, I don't think you're gonna find a better knife for less money than this one. This thing is nice. It's just a beast of a blade. And of course, in your jurisdiction, blade size may be an issue on something like this. They actually make a smaller one though, if that's the case. So the lock is nice. It's no wiggle there at all, and I've kind of abused this thing a little bit already and have never had it fail me. And it closes up and slides down in your pocket just like any knife should. It sits pretty deep, which is always nice. And this has been a really firm clip so far. You know, clips are often the bane of pocket knives. You catch them on a seatbelt or something like that, and there they go. Oh, it opens nice and smooth, and it is sharp. Well, if you sharpen any knife properly, or at least most knives, it's going to be sharp, but it holds that edge well, and it's easy to maintain. I really like that stainless, and that's, like I said, that's the same as the Kershaw that I carried previously, so I'm familiar with it. If you're looking for a nice pocket knife, good everyday carry knife, it's a bit large for some people, but I like it. It's definitely up to the task. Check out Honey Badger. I don't know how long they've been around, but they knocked it out of the park with this one. It's been a great knife. This has been Master of None Honey Badger review. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.